Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to this 30th session of Ergonomics for Beginners Industrial Design Perspective. Today's current module is the module number 7, Environmental Factors, and this is the one class. So, today's session is the class number 30, Environmental Factors Influencing Human Performance. Now, if we see the workplace where we work together, in this figure we can see that some of the arrangements are shown here. Now, what is the potential to perform the space, the total ambience with illumination, heat, ventilation, vibration and privacy feeling, etc. So, how our workplace is assisting us to perform best? Now, the corporate call, if we see this figure is taken from a newspaper article, and it says that today's corporate or today's work environment we feel little free, near to nature, but how far we can go? The reality versus the dream workplace. Now, if our expectation matches with the workspace and the work equipment, then obviously we will be able to perform as desired. But how it affects? Now, in this figure we can see one work environment of a fruit processing unit. In reality, this is our work environment where people work. Now, it looks clumsy, it looks unorganized, it looks various environmental factors are also influencing the total productivity. Now, here if we see that open environment work, still people are working. In this figure it is seen that the first people are placing some grass pieces, the chunk of grass pieces on a barren hill wall, and they are just putting this like this way. This is a grassland, and they are placing it here, and then one small bamboo piece they are fixing to keep it in place with a small hammer like this, the bamboo made hammer. Now, the people are working with direct sun, the placement and the equipment they are using. This type of open work environment, what can be done? Now, here it is shown to climb, obviously also the normal available ladders, bamboo made ladders are being used. Now, here it can say the total work plan, how the truck is carrying the grass is being carried over this, and then it is being fixed on the hilltop. So, this is the one area where the open work is going on. Now, another work area is open coal mine, where the space is open, but people inside who is running this equipment, this machine, they are inside a specific space. So, in that this is the cabin from where the driver or he works. Now, it can be seen that from the front area of this machine is that this is the cabin where this type of persons are working and these are the work equipment. Now, in this the dust is there, heat, also that humid conditions. So, now inside this cabin if we can make a air cooling system or means a specific controlled environment, then it may have been better. Now, another equipment, another work area that is in the at home, the kitchen. The kitchen a compact work environment requiring multi-sensor activity. Now, what is the multi-sensor activity? Means in this case, when some work is going on, so this is the fire, one has to concern this, the illumination level etcetera needs to be concerned, and then some other the power point and etcetera and this placement, and also the when this chimney is working, then this fume etcetera it should go out. So, the smell also another factor like that, and then the total illumination level in this is also another factor. So, all these environmental factors influence the person who is working here to perform at the best. So, now what are the factors are responsible for this? Not only the physical factors, another factor that is the privacy. Now, the privacy and the factors relevant, the viewing distance, viewing angle and related environmental issues are there. So, the privacy is also one of the another important factor that influences the workspace and product design. Now, if we can see this thing, this figure says that the facility and conveniences. Now, in this figure if we read, this is a published in paper, two persons are talking, what is heaven? This person says, a place where you live forever and do nothing but watch 600 channels. They are all happy. And hell, no remote controls are there. Means from this cartoon, what essence we can get, we can relate that facilities all may be there, but how to use it properly, that is necessary. Means the human issues in relation to those factors, that is the not only the facility provisions are necessary, but the convenience to use those facilities also need to be seen. Like this one equipment here showing on a corridor, a fire hazard, this equipment is placed, but the thing is that when there is no fire and when the people are crossing this through this road or this corridor, after certain period, a system component is in a busy work environment easily gets adapted. People forget its presence. So, then the placement location of an equipment is also important, and the informations presented herein, how to use, how to operate, whether it is easy to access or not. Now, the moving built environment. The moving built environment is that in this car, the space inside, heat, humidity, ventilation and all vibration, all are considered, and it should match with our expectation. Now, what is the expectation? That limit is yet to be finalized, and it is a progress, regular progress. Somewhere some vibration is necessary, somewhere vibration is not. necessary means sometimes what happens when you are driving a lorry or a truck on a rough road with a heavy luggage in back, then that road feeling that comes through that vibration is necessary. Some studies mention this, but when you have your own car or you are sitting in a theater, at that time that vibration is not necessary, but to create a specific ambience that vibration may be required. So, the need and the demand, this relation are not in a fixed proportion. The context specifically its application is necessary. Now, another area that is the airport approach. This has both the open system and open area environment as well as confined. So, this is a mixture kind of thing. An environment needing multi-sensory information system, like for example, we can say that a railway platform, railway station. In a railway station, it is a noisy area. Now, if only some train arrival and departure etc., or some other information, say if it is only the auditory, and if there are many auditory informations are coming at a time, then it is very difficult to recognize the specific information you require. And at the same time, if we give only the light sensation, like suppose there is some kind of a electronic display and that gives this thing, train in coming, going, those informations and others. Now, it also has a specific placement location, or otherwise you may miss it. So, in certain cases where the many people are there and there is not a specific location fixed to see the information, to get the information, in certain cases more than one sensory informations are to be presented. So, from this we can say that what will be the display modality. Now, under this display modality matter, suppose we are discussing the auditory and visual presentations. Now, where we should stress on auditory, where we should stress on visual presentations, where we should use both the things. Like auditory, when the information is very simple, visual presentation where the complex informations are to be presented. Auditory is a very short duration, short information auditory. With long auditory matter, we cannot retain for longer time, but for long time requirement, visual presentation is necessary, because you can refer it back. Auditory signals are better when not to be referred later, but when it requires to be referred later, then visual presentation is important. Deals with the event in time. Visual presentation deals with location in space. Like auditory calls immediate attention. This visual presentation immediate as well as later. Means we can ignore some of the visual information at that moment, but after some time with the same input being present there, one can act upon it. But auditory signal, it comes and it vanishes, its lifespan is very short. Auditory signals may be used where the overburdened visuals are there. Where overburdened visuals are there, there some sound may be necessary to identify that. Overburdened with auditory, there like in a fair where lot of noise are there to draw attention or somewhere else, some light signal may be necessary. Auditory signals can be used in too bright or dark situations, and too noisy places visual presentations are required. Job demands person to move continuously, means normally the visual presentations are in a static format in a specific place, but when person is constantly moving, it is very difficult to concentrate on that. In that case, the auditory signal will be better, like in a bus stand, in a bus station, when always buses are moving and etc. There it would be good to use auditory informations, like broadcasting kind of thing, mic. But where person to be seated in a position like in a waiting hall, there in a railway station waiting hall, there some kind of electronics display may be successful. Now, the question comes where both things are necessary, something like that. When you are taking a turn with a bicycle or a motorcycle, left side or right side, when you are switching it, the signals, then the signal light as well as sound should be there. Signal light from far distance people can recognize, and the sound whether near the people they can get good information. Now, another case, suppose in a railway station waiting hall, in an electronic display board, many trains and their informations are coming up, but the particular train information I require, it is not coming in a regular way. So, after seeing this whole board where my required information is not present, so I may tend to avoid its presence, but as per regular updates, my required train information it appears, I may miss it. At that time, with some sound, when the changes are there in that visuals, if the sound signal is also come with that, accompany with that, then I may notice this. In this type of context, both the signals combination are necessary. Suppose in a very big machines, in that machine there are many functional components are there, and to know all the machines are functioning well, the individual light signals are there and all light signals are running. If any problem in a specific component, so that light signal will start differing from intensity point of view, light or maybe blinking or whatever. To get final further attention, if it accompanies with a sound, it will draw my attention very fast. So, in this type of things cases, both the signals mixture are necessary. Now, environmental ergonomics issues deals with the study of human capabilities and limitations with respect to the demands imposed by various environmental modalities and relevant applications. Like in this figure, it says that the total display of the work equipment. And now, for example, environmental. In this case, this figure, in this top left figure, it says that a keyhole operation. While you are opening the keyhole, normally on the top of the door the light is there. So, the light comes to you, but light does not fall on this required area. So, though light is there, but still for doing that work, how far it is helping. In certain cases, that inside light and outside light, the variation it assists in visual or to see the things. Like if the outside of a room is less light and inside the room is more light, then you can see the inside details. But inside less light and outside room is a more light, then from outside it is difficult to see inside. So, this type of things, the light intensity and the variations, it plays a role in this type of understanding or to see the details. Now, the glare affects performance. If when we keep a computer near the window light comes to the person. In this case, it is the glare that it is a glare comes. So, the placement location of the equipment, it also requires to be considered. And then in this case, it is said that when one can read this book, no problem, but on the top of the ceiling the lamps are there, it is lamps reflections are here, that gives a discomfort. So, the component locations of the environmental issues needs to be considered, that where the installations will be there. So, the physiological and performance effect in occupational setting pertaining to ventilation and pollutants. If pollutants are there in certain area, people will try to avoid that location. Psychophysical quantification of sound and noise, vibration full or partial, self and or the work item means vibration. If the full vibration, whole body vibrates, then how it affects within the physiological bones, joints and etc., as well as the performance full or partial, the self or the work item. If the person moves or the work item I want to concentrate, that moves, what are the different, what are the concepts. And then heat stress and humidity, illumination, glare etc., affecting space perception and communicational clearance, that is visual or verbal requirement. Workplace and work component or items locations, effect of working in various environmental conditions and shift work. These are the area that we need to consider while talking environmental issues. Now, there are three types of control measures that can be applied to reduce or eliminate the unwarranted effects of such environmental issues, and those are mostly we can say eliminate or reduce at the source. If there is some problem, heat is there, I cannot work upon it, maybe like that when I am working, if there is incandescent lamp, it gives a heat. So, at the source I can change it to some other lamp that does not produce that much heat. So, by this we can say that eliminate or reduce at the source, isolate source and or man to stop reaching to the man. If there is some other problem, suppose some hot material is there, or I am working in a hot circle nearby a hot oven. So, either I can go away from that place, my work I can arrange like that way. So, these are the isolate source. Another third is that reduce the exposure duration, use personal protective measures at an individual as well as group level. I can have some cover kind of thing. Suppose if I have to work in a blacksmith's work area, there what's happen, when they put the air, so the fire suddenly its intensity increases and that heat comes to me. Now, either I can have a protective clothing with me, then it is becomes the individual level. If there are many people are working near a very hot area, there I may have a curtain kind of thing or something like that. Suppose there are many people are working in a hot area, suppose they are breaking some stone or something, few people, there I can put a cover over that area. So, these are the group level the protective measures I am taking. So, the direct chance that radiant heat will not come to them. So, like that. So, for that masks, guards etc., as well as creating controlled environment can be made. In that case, air conditioning and etc., may be cited as an example. In this session, we would like to have a brief discussion on the above, whatever some cases we have shown, that helps in framing design concepts, rather going into detailed scientific core importances, like vibration and functional relevance. Performance gets affected, that we know. If there is vibration, performance reduces. The whole body vibration is there. While standing, working, the vibration comes through feet, or in seated work via the seat. So, its severity may result in reduced sensitivity. If the constant vibration is there, the sensitivity reduces, loss of skill function of fingers and muscles, joint and bone disorders are there, and hand on vibration specifically when use motorized handle tools. Now, in certain cases, suppose some combat vehicles where the military personnel travel, normally what happens, the seats are hung from the ceiling of the buses, because if anything happens below landmine or something blast, then that effect will not create any problem or much problem to those people, because when the blast comes, the lower part of the vessel, it gets that heat, that jerk, and so that will not go directly to the people who are sitting there, and that seat plates if we can hang from the ceiling. So, there is no direct touch with the floor. Now how the hand tool creates a vibration. In this case, we can say that work equipment induced vibration hazard, that this machine, when it moves, it is drill machine, it gives a vibration, and to maintain that position and to operate with that vibration, it requires a vibration. So, how to reduce this thing, how we can design so that the vibration reduces, that is a constant, that we need to think on it. What can be considered? Shocks and jerks may be avoided, such things. Prevent the transmission of vibration using any structural or damping material. So, this may be considered while attempting a design of such type of equipment. Sometimes vibration gives task feeling, that is a road feeling also. In vibration, sometimes is also necessary, but obviously within control, within limit. Like we can say that the mobile phones, to get attention, it gives a vibration when it is in a sound off mode, but when an incoming call comes, so it starts vibrating. So, you can feel of that. So, in this context, vibration is helpful in identifying the information, but when we are running a tractor, that vibration, it damages us, it imposes an occupational health hazards. So, there we need to control it. So, these two are the specific area that can be considered. Now, vibration affects visual performance. If I want to read something, these figures, so if it vibrates, then it is difficult to read, and this is some kind of information. So, object and person vibrate, object and person both vibrate, both in the same direction, means the object is also moving, person is also moving, that type of thing. Opposite direction, person and object both are vibrating in different way. Oblique means like this way vibration, and then multidirectional is something like this way, multidirectional movements, person as well as the object, both or one. So, it affects our performance. As for example, this is an escalator going down. Now, if in this case, if one electronic informations are passing like this and the person is going down, then he is going down, information is passing like this way. So, it is the same way. If it comes backwards, then it is a different way. So, in this case, this person's it is not also smooth moving, it also vibrates. So, this vibration affects. Then, to overcome that vibrational visual performance problem, what will be shape, size, space of material movement on this is necessary to be considered, and relevant studies are necessary to be conducted. There are simultaneous presentation of information for specific purposes. Multiplicity of information presentation through different senses does not impose any problem. Using same senses imposes difficulty. Driving with radio off or on position, there is no problem. I can drive a car with that radio on, but while observing a video film in front will have so. Means if the driver also keeps a small video set or television set in front, and while driving he may need to see it, whereas he needs to concentrate on the front. So, both are the same senses, same sensual feelings are required. There the disturbances are there, but while driving my visual requirement is there, but the sound it does not help, that does not impose some problem. In this case also another thing is that what type of auditory informations increases performance or affects the performance. Some studies are done, they say that some musical instrument it increases your concentration to do certain task, because the instrumental music creates an ambience, but if it is a vocal, you want to understand the language part in that, words in that. So, whatsoever you are deviating your attention. So, these are the some of the cases like music and performance, it has vocal as well as instrumental music differences, different type of effects. Sometimes variation of the intensity of same sense information creates differences such as variations and alarm states are conveyed by warning beep and reading some information. Multimodal interaction for safety. It is recommended that important information like alarms be conveyed through multiple senses simultaneously. As example, sound combining with light signal serves better than a single one. Like cell phone combining sound, light and vibration to make a person alert about the incoming information. Comfortable working requires to satisfy several conditions like air temperature, radiant temperature of surface, air velocity and relative humidity. Allow people to control the climate themselves than to ask them to adapt a fixed one. As for example may be cited of an air conditioned train compartment. In this air conditioned train compartment, the total environment, the total inside is controlled by some other person who is the attendant. Now, if you feel cold and etc., then you can have a cover on your body and that is being supplied. Means it is thought that, it is assumed that all the people will not have the same comfort with a certain degree of air conditioning. This is for that where some other people are common, but inside your room where the air condition is there for your self use, you can make it as per your own requirement comfort. So, and another thing is that radiating surface, another area. Now, if another problem is that if it is wherever you are working, if that surface is hot, cold, vibrating, then it affects. Like if the radiating surface and etc., it can be said that suppose in this case the umbrella is being used. Now, why everybody does not like umbrella? Must be some problem is there. Otherwise, such good product people do not use always. Maybe how to carry it when it is not in use, that problem, like that way. So, for that some studies have already been done that says that how this umbrella can be fitted on your head and etc., so that your arms can be free. That type of design is required. The helmet. Helmet, it has a specific purpose for safety from physical hazards as well as heat, rain and water and so many other things. But it is seen that people are reluctant to wear it. Why? Because the ambience it provides to the head, perhaps it does not match with the people requirement or the comfort feeling. Now, in open area, the local material are being used for rain, for sun only. So, this is to such type of things, and somewhere only cloth cover is also performs the similar function. Now, personal protective device may be used in certain cases to avoid this environmental hazardous factors. Clothing may be used, proper clothing, thick, thin, different woven material, umbrella, hat, special devices. Some kind of curtains can also be used. Now, the air cooler and air conditioner effect. Some people complain that in air conditioning, as a dry air is there, so some people have some problem. So, some people they do not like to use air conditioning always, but where the heat is due to mostly the dry heat, like in Rajasthan area or Delhi and that type of area where the dry heat is there. So, at that if the moist air is given, then it affects very good. So, for that the air cooler system has started. So, now what type of things are necessary? The same air cooling system like with that moist air throwing may not be applicable in near seashore area. So, what type of products to be used and where it will be used? The target group as well as the context, it needs to be considered and designed accordingly. In product relatively heat resistance material where human body touch is necessary to operate may be considered. So, with this we can say that the varieties of environmental factors are relevant to our performance, how we perform, how these environmental factors affect us, and accordingly we have to make design. So, next module will be the ergonomic design process, where all these issues we will consider, we will discuss taking specific design applications. The ambience influences mood. How we perform, how we shall perform, the mood creates through the ambience, heat, humidity, ventilation, dust quality and etc., and the cleanliness, the space, the privacy feeling etc., it creates an ambience. With that ambience creates our working mood. So, with this we are concluding today's session, and next session we will see its direct design applications. Thank you.